Reptune design element. Reptune design element. Intellectual alphalong. Alphel gerkuto. Design economy. Function order malorder. Nah, average. The compliance of the network protocol will be delayed in relation to algorithm because in that way the manuscript chart will be measured in relation to algorithm editing, and in that way if there is a correspondence in relation to the network of Auton, you need to know how to divert the transition, because diverting the transition based upon the muscle is the equation of Menina, because in that way your bio will cancel something like that in relation to a proton. I don't know much about gym set in relation to post-up because I have a brain injury and I went to Fitness First by TIC. Yes. Anyway, protocol of the Dinikanan. The biggest of the ne akatsa is the Tunsaka Atata Gotoshon. Jidiko Ekete Gandata. The revision to support the Soul Blaster is that the Ogoton and the Twasala is a position of the dog in relation to the protocol, because in revision to the Licasin, the lawyer need to support the Soho in relation to a Toto Ehe. And in that way, when you rework the ordering system, the function of the order will be compliant in relation to Tasang Dana. And also, in that way, if there is a quotation, you will manuscript the agony of law in relation to Lenza. '56, 21, that, cell. Division to support the Soho in relation to Donkey Kong, because in relation to Donkey Kong, the revision of Nintendo 64 is C, D, F, 5, piston, order, tray. This division is an antecedent of artificial intelligence, because the artificial intelligence will program the data in relation to a subplan, and in that time it will repeat the ordering system in relation to Fankandan Jashan. No. The Jesus face is based upon the transam, but a cross is just a cross in relation to Toho, and in that way, being hazard is the breaking of traveler to sink into the Bakna of Palestine. And in that time, if you know Palasta, you have the war on the house of Mana. Relay different Kesa in relation to malordering the function of the conversion, and in that way, the malordering of the function of conversion is that the sextaton is the fifth Dutton Igiride in relation to the protext and touching out the law to protocol the manuscript. in relation to deadly. This perspective is based upon 21 review? No. This perspective is an instanton of knowing how Stargate work in relation to the portal or extata ponton. That portal is the descent of illegal sustained biolimbo, because that portal is written of the Touchaton in relation to the Prolex, because the traveler from the galaxy is the Tinkana, yes, of Gatla, Gata, and in Molong, the Gadia is BOOO in relation to the computer system. So within the computer system, when it's symbolic, the title of vegetable by the farmer, it will mature its age in relation to your intestine. When it does, the fifth, I've seen the feces for a board. So in that way, I'm a vegetarian. I used to be a vegetarian. I made a promise to Buddha, the original statue that smiled at me, and you know. But nowadays, because I had the injury and I had a dent on my head, I decided to eat protein so the muscles go back. So already had a meeting with the plastic surgeon in Collins Street a long time ago. It's fine now. I'm not bothered. So anyway, when you eat vegetable, it depends what it is, because sometimes when you do number twos, it comes out straight away, or later on, like few days later or few hours later, something like that. Wait. Dicha ate retatonto, mirakatat irgatana, dito onkastantare, dirikachita ankasakatata, mirgata ekekatata, dulokosa on, nirikashinga ekechane, dulokashanta achasasa, dirikasaka achatakasa, dirikachinto onkasanton, ninikatang taragatang, chichotong tapikate. Well, based upon your dietary, if you eat bok choy, boy sam, or whatever, choy sam, or broccoli, or whatever kind of things that you eat, it's pretty healthy for you. The way you chew, swallow, dieten. So when you do that, by the time you do number two, poo-poo, by the time you do number two, if it comes out with your poo, then some of those titong, it's actually inside of your phala, which is dutung of your fabric in your skin. The fabric in your skin is the tekino of how tan you are in summer days or in winter. Then you will know that the sun then will burn your mole in relation to cancer. And if it does, you need to go to Jilo. It's the neuron science. The neuroscience is the brain injury. Yes. Neuron, first one, is the of creator who created human. Yes. In the human system, our skin is aircon, and in that way, when Jean knew air condition the spunk of a spike, it gives you fresh air in relation to the bronchoton. of your nose hair. And in your nose hair, when you trim, it gives you snots and oil in relation to droughts. I love nature. I love animals. I'm just nobody. I'm just Illinois. Dorothea, do you know that I never know the real true of why in the soul of me that I cannot know that you will never be the same. In soul. Singing is hard. I'm not a singer, but based upon the vocantotion of the vocabulary, the adjective of verb may noun in Collins Dictionary. But in Collins Dictionary, the protocol by Stargate's tune, trauma, trauma, well, trum, yeah, whatever. Trum is the negative of until ethical Asasi 30 grade alien crater. Asasi 30 grade is the volume of Botox in relation to the plastic surgeon. Hogan used to have it, yes. And in that way, if you can confront the reality of life, the uniqueness of law is that it's symptom. No, I don't know much about Botox, but I love Botox. That's Olga, she knows. She did Botox, lips look really big. Oh, I don't know. So anyway, in relation to the processes of knowing that the Cybertron will be marking into the artificial intelligence is that the manuscript will be fire in relation to internal combustion. In relation to the internal combustion, the manuscript will be facale, no swear word, into bok choy. And in relation to bok choy, the development of edible degree of sweet tooth, yes, sweet tooth, then your body charges the battery. When it does in your human neutron, the brain interact with the way you run and diet before you do number 2. So in that way, based upon the gym set, when you order the formula of knowing how to mature its age, then in time, when you do that, you will conference into the greed. And in that way, eating rotten food is my favorite. Eating rotten food is that in 30 days of dietary fiber, your nutrition falls down into your urine. Therefore, it smells like. In the way of DNA, the complexion of law is that the intuition of the mind is the division to know that the Opa Gadla is the poisson in relation to vegetarian. And in relation to vegetarian, the flatulence of rice or pasta or bokko is a indignant. Because in that way, if there is a supplement in relation to biolab, the conference of the DNA is the vocabulary of what has been eaten in relation to crisscross and Bugs Bunny. In relation to crisscross and Bugs Bunny, the division to support the phalang in relation to your skeleton. The lowest stone of bones is the nair of Calcaeus. Calcium, Calcaeus, Celsius. So in that way, when you complete the ordering system of the untuned gym set in relation to POS, your gross profit is based upon what you eat, what you buy, what you gym to match your body signal synthesis. And in that way, building your muscle helps you to manuscript the via Gatale, which means undies. And in that way, when you wear undies in relation to Pokesong, the Tilikagon of knowing how the flannel of fabric work, it's by beehive. And within beehive, the Resident Evil movie, Resident Evil, is the Gototon of Fiber. Within yourself, the demon, it's edible in relation to Viatron of muscles, to Phantom law. Within that law, the conclusion of law is that as your biceps built it to diplom the nutrition of drinks by Powerade. This brand, I think, still around, is it? I don't know. And in that way, with Powerade, the confluxon of your drinking is that the synthesis of law is the biceps of what you eat. Rice, pasta, I don't know what you eat, what else you eat. All different nationality eats different food. So in that way, when you conflux the maturity to understand the phalang of fiber, you need to test the Botox. Now look, see? Hamburger God. See? Oh God. So in that way, when you adhere the supplement of Cybertron, the Jesus face is that your nutrition will form into Stargate Eye. Jesus. So well, look at your own eye. I have a white eye. Well, where is the pupil? That's all. So in other nation, you all do, don't you? So in relation to 300, the movie, the witch has one, like one eye, and it's just a movie like that eye. So in that way, and the article is beautiful. Look. So in that way, if you conform in relation to the synthesis of the cyber layer, your air here is that one of your is the which one? Eyelid hair, eyebrow hair, nose hair, ear hair, pubic, armpits, Uranus. You will meet people who create pieces of human in relation to knowing the DNA and duplicate of digital, because the nutrition to eat is the nexus of law in relation to your behavior. Is that the shape of the gold I found? Oh, Joseph. Oh, please. So in that way, when you tone the bulk of the bicep, the nutrition in your bone is just Dushan. or something in relation to Oto. Oto. Atta. There's a favorite cartoon character I like called Atta. I think he's a cow. I don't know for which one. I'll do some search on Google and find out. I don't remember his name. Uto. Whatever. Yeah, he's a funny one. So anyway, in that way, oh, here's a quickie. In that way, when you make cartoons, you're helping your children to enjoy life and know life. Yes, at a certain age, until they reach a particular age, etc. So anyway, in the time of this, I start. Well, the perception of 4 out 4 is a curtain of knowing the manuscript by Biston, and in Biston the work of knowing how to robot the artificial intelligence you will mark into backstock, because when you will mark into backstock, you will know how to develop Germany in relation to the Brexit, and in that way the decoration of the Belgium is a ham cheese to eat Okon, which means drink water wine. Water wine? Water wine depending on Olga Sutcliffe, because she drinks. She's an alcoholic? No. Just a tactic. Well, I love drugs. Now I'm old. Very old. So in that way, you can also convert the rendering program of muscle men. Muscle men is based upon your bisection of your own genital. And in time, when you know that your mother gave birth to you, you have been sucked down into the ghost. And that time, when you know the DNA of your white soul by the proxon of the prefix, the sexton of knowing that your DNA is the total of reality of your own abuse. And in that time, when you predict the service to know the fluxon of lawyers, then the barrister will plan B, a phalanx of the affiliate in relation to Google search engine. And in that time, when you write what you like in relation to your blog, the equation of the next bokdong of bok choy is Chimson of Santa. And in that way, the sextaton of knowing how to eat better food, you survive large long in relation to being solvable by Tia Gana. Tia Gana. And in Tia Gana, she arrived, And in that time, Tia Gana is the treasure of knowing Tia Gana, the producer of Vechtan and Pishanton. Do you want to know how she collaborated with the blue goddess as well? Fish farmers? In the reality of life, once you can conform into the manuscriptum of Oko, the Atta is the consistor of the main character. And in so, when you complex the fiber into your muscle, The manuscript will frontosom into the fronton of the fibronade, and the first word is the tokonshon, niti goho. My language. Anyway. Sixten. Collins dial. Alien creator. Delay 4-3-12. Correct. Sister tree. Formulating vocabulary. Formulating vocabulary is in the condition of Metholokon in relation to meta tags and to Okolon, the fire breaker. And in that way, the decaton of the exhaustion by the combustion is the thesis of knowing how the fire transit into the cylinder, explodes. It does. Yes. So in that way, things happen. You know, car goes on fire, things like that. It depends on the engine and the oil within the petrol and the pollution of air, etc., etc. Long time. My car is very safe, but I can't drive. Yes. So, the internal combustion to make the spaceship you will enjoy how beautiful it will be to travel all the way to the planet Moon. Didn't you see the blue moon? I worked with Papa and Galicia, but I didn't do anything. Oh, I don't want to repeat that, sorry. So in that way, the colon of knowing how to exhaust the vital piston of piston, then the petrol will engine the boxon of law and to integrate the throttle. And in that way, the gear cog into cognizance of cognitivity by acting into the engine and in fog. Long time like that. So in that way, when it does, what it does, it will pump the oil in a certain degree, etc., and then it will run into the petrol, and when it does that, it will charges your turbo in relation to the exhaustion, and will give you a beautiful sound by the muffler to sell and to integrate the next third technology. So in that way, what it does, it will compound the ordering system of the next time machine to lap into quantum. So when it does that, it will help you to create the spaceship to hypertext the glocon of barristers and to Easton into the next gutter song. The black hole. And the black hole is disgusting because ask Papa and Galicia. They're the main creator that create the entire galaxy. So within the black hole, what's underneath the black hole? Oh, but I like that bacteria in relation to StarCraft. You know, things with, I guess, yes. Look like an octopus, but it's not. So in that way, the dark dew of Kula Dooku. Oh, yeah, Dooku. Oh, Kula Dooku is an illustration of Elehe. And in that time, when you know the volume 12 of the TV series by StarCraft. You make games to win the league